Imagine for a moment that you are sitting quietly, going about your day, and suddenly you feel it. That unmistakable urge, the sudden pressing need to go to the bathroom. It hits you out of nowhere, and there's no negotiating with it. You can't push it aside, you can't rationalize it away, and you can't ignore it without consequence. And yet, there's a lesson here, a truth that applies to every aspect of life, far beyond the immediate discomfort you are experiencing. This moment, inconvenient as it may be, is an extraordinary teacher. It forces you to recognize the urgency of your circumstances, the reality that some things in life cannot wait. You can delay many things, a phone call, an email, a meeting, a conversation, but some demands, some needs are immediate, non-negotiable. The body, in its quiet wisdom, speaks in a language of urgency, compelling action where hesitation could lead to regret. And isn't that what life often does? Life presents us with situations that demand immediate attention, and in those moments, hesitation is not an option. It's a test of our ability to respond, to act decisively, to acknowledge reality without excuses. You might think this is trivial, but consider the clarity that comes with immediate action. When you feel that urgent call, you are stripped of distractions. There's no pretending, no procrastination, no rationalization. You either move or you face consequences. That clarity, that focus is a gift. How often do we allow ourselves to experience such unfiltered, unambiguous clarity in our daily lives? How often do we respond immediately to the signals our mind and body are sending us, rather than putting things off until later, a time that may never come? The bathroom is simply a metaphor for all the areas of life where we delay the inevitable, where we avoid the uncomfortable, and where we ignore the signals telling us to act. This moment also teaches us about humility. There is a certain vulnerability in acknowledging that something so basic, so human, must take precedence over all else. No matter your status, your title, your intelligence, or your strength, you are subject to the same human needs as everyone else. Life has a way of humbling us, of reminding us that some things are beyond control. But humility is not weakness, it is awareness. And awareness is power. Recognizing that you must respond, accepting that some things are urgent and unavoidable, prepare you to handle the larger, more complex urgencies of life with the same responsiveness. There's also a lesson in preparation. How many times have you faced this urgency and been caught off guard? The discomfort, the stress, the scramble to find a solution, all of it could have been mitigated with foresight. Life constantly presents situations that demand preparedness, whether it's a sudden opportunity, a crisis, or a personal challenge. Those who succeed are not the ones who react blindly, but the ones who anticipate, plan, and position themselves in a state of readiness. The next time that pressing need arises, whether it's literal or metaphorical, you will know how to respond swiftly, with grace and efficiency, because you have learned the value of preparedness. Furthermore, there's a resilience built in moments like these. The mind often resists urgency, tries to rationalize discomfort, or clings to denial. But when action is inevitable, the resistance fades. You act. You persevere. You move forward despite hesitation. And that is a skill that transcends the moment. Life will present you with countless urgencies, financial, emotional, professional, and in each of these moments, the ability to act decisively, even when uncomfortable, will define your growth, your character, and ultimately your success. And let us not forget the power of perspective. While this urgency might seem pressing, temporary, and trivial, it reminds us that all discomfort is fleeting. Moments of discomfort, handled correctly, pass. They are opportunities to engage with reality fully, to confront it without avoidance, and to emerge with greater awareness. The temporary inconvenience of action now pales in comparison to the regret of inaction later. Every time we respond promptly to life as calls, we reinforce a habit of engagement, of attentiveness, and of courage. Finally, recognize that this experience is universal. Everyone at some point faces urgent demands they cannot ignore, and those who thrive are the ones who do not resent these moments, who do not fight against the natural flow of life, but who understand that every call, every pressing need is an invitation to action, an opportunity for clarity, a test of readiness, and a lesson in humility. The sudden urgency is not punishment, it is instruction. It is the body life, the universe itself, reminding you that to succeed, to grow, to live fully, you must respond promptly, decisively, and courageously. So embrace the urgency, no matter how inconvenient or uncomfortable it may feel. Recognize it as a teacher, a guide, a mirror of life's larger truths. Respond fully, move without hesitation, and know that every moment you act decisively. Every time you answer life as called, instead of ignoring it, you strengthen yourself, sharpen your awareness, and cultivate the kind of resilience and clarity that defines those who are truly prepared to live boldly. Think about the sensation of sudden urgency when your body signals that immediate action is required and all distractions fall away. That moment is raw, undeniable, and unyielding. There's no room for procrastination or negotiation. In that instant, you are forced to respond, and your response defines the outcome. Life operates in much the same way. Opportunities, challenges, and crises do not wait for the perfect moment. They arrive with their own sense of urgency. The difference between thriving and faltering often depends on how quickly and decisively you act. Procrastination may seem harmless in ordinary circumstances, but in moments that demand immediate attention, hesitation carries consequences. Recognizing the call to action and responding without delay is the first step toward mastery of both yourself and your circumstances. Immediate action sharpens focus. When an urgent need presents itself, your mind and body align around a single purpose. There are no distractions, no competing thoughts, no excuses. This alignment is instructive for all areas of life because so often we allow trivial distractions to dominate our energy. A pressing challenge strips away all of that and forces pure focus. The clarity you experience when you respond to urgent circumstances demonstrates how powerful decisive action can be. By training yourself to recognize and act upon important moments without delay, you cultivate a mindset that refuses to waste time and energy on hesitation. This is the mindset that separates people who make things happen from those who wait for circumstances to change on their own. Urgency also teaches decisiveness. Life often presents situations that are ambiguous, complex, or intimidating, and it's natural to want to delay decisions until more information is available or until conditions are perfect. Yet, waiting can result in missed opportunities, increased stress, or unnecessary setbacks. The simple, undeniable urgency of a pressing bodily need illustrates a truth: action trumps indecision. The sooner you act, even imperfectly, the sooner you create clarity, solve problems, and move forward. Indecision keeps you stuck in a cycle of uncertainty, whereas decisive action, even small steps, propels you toward resolution. By practicing responsiveness in small, immediate matters, you strengthen your ability to respond decisively when life presents higher stakes challenges. Moreover, responding to urgent calls builds confidence. There is a subtle yet powerful satisfaction in knowing that you can handle whatever arises in the moment. Every time you acknowledge urgency and act promptly, you reinforce your trust in your own abilities. You learn that discomfort can be managed, that obstacles can be overcome, and that you possess the capacity to respond effectively under pressure. This growing confidence translates directly into every aspect of life because it trains you to approach challenges with the belief that you can handle them. People who consistently act promptly cultivate a momentum that becomes almost self-sustaining. Action leads to results, results lead to clarity, and clarity fuels further action. Acting immediately also reduces the mental burden of delayed action. Postponing necessary responses often creates anxiety, stress, and distraction. Your mind becomes cluttered with reminders of what must be done, and your energy is diverted toward avoidance rather than productive action. By embracing urgency and responding promptly, you eliminate unnecessary mental strain, preserve energy, and maintain control over your circumstances. You experience the freedom that comes from resolving matters in real time rather than carrying unresolved tension forward. Finally, the principle immediate action demonstrates respect for reality. Life will not wait for your comfort, your readiness, or your excuses. Recognizing urgent demands and responding decisively is an acknowledgement of truth, the reality of the moment, the nature of your responsibilities, and the limits of control. By embracing this approach consistently, you cultivate a proactive mindset. You position yourself as someone who does not passively react to life but actively engages with it, taking responsibility and ownership over your outcomes. Urgency becomes not a burden but a teacher, shaping your character, strengthening your focus, and preparing you to meet every challenge with clarity, decisiveness, and confidence. There's a profound lesson in humility, awareness, and preparedness, and it often arrives in moments that are unexpected, unavoidable, and undeniably human. When life presents situations that demand immediate attention, it exposes the reality that no matter how capable, confident, or accomplished we believe ourselves to be, we are subject to forces beyond our control. Recognizing this truth is not a sign of weakness. It is a form of awareness that grounds us in reality and strengthens our ability to respond effectively. Humility allows us to see ourselves clearly, to accept our limitations, and to acknowledge the systems, circumstances, and even our own bodies that shape our lives. Without humility, we overestimate our capacity to control outcomes, resist learning, and fall prey to arrogance or denial. With humility, we gain clarity, adaptability, and the capacity to engage life with openness and intelligence. Awareness is the natural companion to humility. To be aware is to understand the signals that life is constantly sending us, whether they come in the form of internal intuition, external circumstances, or urgent calls for attention. Awareness demands presence. It requires that we pay attention to what is happening right now, rather than being lost in past regrets or future anxieties. Life does not operate according to our schedules or preferences. It moves according to its own rhythm. By cultivating awareness, we learn to recognize the cues and patterns that indicate when action is necessary, when opportunities are fleeting, or when challenges are approaching. Awareness transforms us from passive participants in life to active agents, capable of responding with clarity, efficiency, and foresight. Preparedness is the tangible expression of humility and awareness. It is not enough to recognize limitations and signals. We must also equip ourselves to respond effectively when they arise. Preparedness is built through planning, practice, and strategic anticipation of what life might demand. It requires foresight, discipline, and sometimes discomfort, because preparation often happens long before the urgency arrives. Life is unpredictable, and those who succeed are rarely the ones who react blindly. They are the ones who anticipate, organize, and position themselves so that when a pressing need emerges, they are ready to meet it. Preparedness is not about controlling every variable. It is about creating a state of readiness that allows us to act decisively, adapt quickly, and minimize negative consequences when the unexpected occurs. The interplay of humility, awareness, and preparedness creates resilience. Humility grounds us in reality, awareness keeps us alert and engaged, and preparedness ensures that we have the tools, knowledge, and mindset to respond. Together, they form a framework for navigating uncertainty and challenges with composure and effectiveness. Life constantly tests us with sudden demands, unforeseen obstacles, and moments that push us outside our comfort zones. Those who have cultivated this triad are not immune to difficulty, but they are equipped to meet it head-on, to respond with intelligence, and to turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Moreover, embracing these qualities fosters a mindset that values learning and continuous improvement. Humility reminds us that we are always capable of growth. Awareness highlights the lesson embedded in every moment, and preparedness transforms learning into actionable strategies. By integrating these principles into daily life, we create a cycle of growth. We observe, we understand, we act, and we refine. This cycle not only strengthens our ability to handle immediate challenges, but also positions us for long-term success, because it trains us to engage life with intentionality, adaptability, and foresight. In the end, humility, awareness, and preparedness are not abstract virtues. They are practical tools for navigating reality. They teach us to respect the limits of our control, to recognize and interpret life as signals, and to take decisive action when it matters most. They remind us that we are human, that life is unpredictable, and that success depends not on denial or avoidance, but on the courage to see clearly, the discipline to anticipate, and the wisdom to respond effectively. Resilience and perspective are qualities that define the way we navigate life's inevitable challenges. Every moment of discomfort, every sudden pressure, and every unexpected demand is an opportunity to cultivate these traits. Resilience is not merely the ability to endure difficulty, it is the capacity to face adversity, respond with clarity, and emerge stronger than before. Perspective, on the other hand, allows us to understand the temporary nature of challenges, to see beyond immediate discomfort, and to recognize the larger lessons embedded in every situation. Together, resilience and perspective transform life's urgencies from sources of frustration into catalysts for growth, self-mastery, and deeper awareness. The development of resilience begins with embracing discomfort rather than avoiding it. Life rarely delivers its lessons gently. Challenges arrive unannounced, often in inconvenient or uncomfortable forms. The mind naturally resists discomfort, seeking safety and predictability. But true growth occurs when we confront difficulty head-on. Every time you respond to life's demands decisively, even in moments of stress or inconvenience, you reinforce your ability to persevere. You learn that you are capable of handling more than you initially believed, and that discomfort is not a barrier, but a teacher. This habitual engagement with challenges builds mental fortitude, equipping you to face increasingly complex and demanding situations with confidence and composure. Perspective is equally essential in cultivating resilience. Life can feel overwhelming when viewed solely through the lens of immediate discomfort. A sudden pressure or urgent demand may appear monumental in the moment, yet when placed in the broader context of your life's journey, it is often temporary and manageable. Perspective allows you to step back, to see the fleeting nature of difficulty, and to recognize the lessons embedded within it. It transforms challenges from obstacles into opportunities, from sources of stress into moments of insight. When you cultivate perspective, you reduce fear, anxiety, and impulsive reactions, replacing them with calm, thoughtful responses that maximize your effectiveness and personal growth. Resilience and perspective also reinforce each other. The more you practice responding effectively to life's urgencies, the greater your confidence becomes in handling future challenges. This confidence is not arrogance, it is a grounded understanding that you have faced difficulty before and emerged stronger. At the same time, perspective ensures that you do not become complacent or dismissive. You remain aware of life's unpredictability and the lessons inherent in each moment. By integrating these qualities, you create a cycle of continuous improvement. Challenges build resilience. Perspective guides your response, and each experience prepares you for the next. Another aspect of resilience is adaptability. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and rigid adherence to expectations often leads to frustration or failure. Resilience involves the ability to adjust, to find alternative paths, and to respond effectively when circumstances change unexpectedly. Perspective enhances this adaptability by providing context and insight. When you view challenges with a sense of proportion, you are less likely to overreact, more likely to identify solutions, pivot strategically, and maintain forward momentum. This combination of resilience and perspective ensures that setbacks do not derail you, but instead become stepping stones toward growth, learning, and achievement. Finally, cultivating resilience and perspective fosters a sense of empowerment. When you recognize that challenges are temporary, that discomfort can be managed, and that every situation offers an opportunity for growth, you shift from a mindset of passivity to one of agency. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. Instead, you engage with life, proactively responding to pressures with clarity, composure, and confidence. Each act of resilience reinforces your self-trust, while perspective ensures that your efforts are guided by wisdom and insight rather than reactionary impulses. Over time, these qualities become habitual, shaping the way you approach every moment, every challenge, and every opportunity that life presents. In essence, resilience and perspective are not merely traits to be admired. They are practical tools for living a purposeful, empowered life. They teach you to face adversity with courage, to see challenges as temporary and instructive, and to engage with life's pressures in a way that strengthens rather than diminishes you. By developing these qualities, you transform moments of urgency, discomfort, and unpredictability into opportunities for growth, mastery, and lasting personal evolution. The sudden urgencies we face, whether literal or metaphorical, are never random. They are life's way of calling us to action, demanding our presence, and testing our character. They teach us the power of immediate action, showing that decisive response is always more valuable than hesitation. They remind us of humility and awareness, highlighting our human limitation, while urging us to prepare and engage fully with reality. And they cultivate resilience and perspective, transforming discomfort and challenge into opportunities for growth, clarity, and strength. Life does not wait for our convenience or our readiness. It moves relentlessly forward, presenting obstacles and urgencies that shape who we become. Those who learn to embrace these moments, respond with courage, and extract the lessons embedded within them rise above the ordinary. They understand that success, growth, and fulfillment are not a matter of avoiding challenges, but of meeting them with clarity, preparedness, and unwavering determination. Every pressing call, every sudden demand, every moment that feels inconvenient or uncomfortable is an invitation to act, to learn, and to evolve. The more we honor these calls, the more we strengthen our focus, sharpen our awareness, and cultivate the resilience necessary to thrive in an unpredictable world. Life rewards those who move decisively, who see clearly, and who respond with courage and intentionality. Embrace urgency, honor the lessons it brings, and let every challenge become a stepping stone toward your highest potential. Your ability to act when it matters most is the truest measure of your strength. And in every moment, you hold the power to rise to the occasion.